Time for a video. Now, I got some obsidian from a friend of mine here in Vermont. Okay, I've got a bunch of obsidian from lots of people, but I got some of this a few days ago, and it looks translucent green. So I want to nap it. Now, this was started by somebody else, kind of a beginner napping, beginner napper, and he was napping a bunch of this stuff. I think it's Mexican obsidian, right? The green stuff. But anyway, I'm going to nap it down and get it thin and try to get a photo when it's backlit. Because what's interesting is I think I can find bottle glass of the same color. I think. It depends on how translucent this is. If I can find some bottle glass of this same color, that'll be very good. Yeah, because I can very easily obtain bottle glass, and it'll look, if I make an arrowhead out of it, it'll look just like a natural obsidian. Yeah, it's exciting. Now we'll see. I'm pretty sure there's some wine glass or wine bottle glass that is at least similar to this shade of green. Yeah. Alright, so I could tell it, I think that's a natural surface there. I hope it's not just ground down artificial glass, man-made glass. It definitely has a greenish tint to it. You see the sun is coming in, but it's too hot in here to put up barriers for the sun because it also prevents the wind from circulating. So I'm leaving the sunlight to do its thing. Okay, this diameter here on this particular rod is smaller than my normal rod. This is 3/8. I forget what this is. Let's see. People keep asking me what the diameters are of these things. 5/16 on the smaller one and 3/8 on the bigger one. Okay. I also have very similar sizes of steel. This is 3/8, but the steel that I have here is a 1/4 inch. Okay. So they're all 12 inches long or thereabouts. For those, I also use an aluminum. This one is 5/8. 5/8 aluminum. Okay. And no, these don't bend. There might be a slight bend, but they don't bend a lot. See, there is a slight bend from hitting it, but it's not a big deal. It's not a major bend. I don't have issues with the bending the copper all out of shape. Okay. I don't know, it looks green. Maybe not in the video. I think I can find glass, man-made glass of that color, or have it made. The friend who gave me this obsidian is also a glass worker. Yeah. Glass blower. All right. I got the fan going in the background. It's way too hot. It's like 95 degrees in the shop in here. Yeah, whenever we get full sun here, the shop heats up a lot. Yep. So what am I going to make? I'm just going to make a California style arrowhead, kind of like an Ishii style. That's what I'm shooting for. Yep. Okay. But I got to thin it down. With percussion. The copper is very nice. Yep. I'll be napping with it for a good while longer, and then once in a while I'll switch over to another material. But I think I'm going to stick mainly with copper, but I am going to try some brass very soon. Yeah, I keep saying that, but I haven't found my stash of brass that I used to have. I don't know where it went. I don't know what storage unit it's in. I've looked in both places and I don't see it. I'm going to have to buy a whole new set of brass rods like this. Yeah. If I can't find it, I've been looking for a few days. If I can't find it, one more day. One more day. If I can't find it, I'm just going to buy some. I can't be spending days and days looking for stuff. I've already been there, done that. I've spent thousands of hours looking for stuff for myself and for other people. No more. It's not worth it. If I can't find it right away, I'm just going to go buy it. Yep. I didn't even clean up from last time. There's still chips down there from the last video. Dang it. It's all crunchy on this side. That's not a good thing. That's my longest side. I'm going to have to lose a lot of width right there because it's so crunchy. I think so. And it worries me. If it's really crunchy, that means it's also snapping halfish. That's usually how it works. I might not be able to thin it down all that well. Yeah. I don't want to take the glove off. I was thinking of taking my glove off so I can nap it more easily. But no, little cuts are distracting. They don't hurt, they're just distracting. Okay. Distractions while thinning are not a good idea. I'm surprised this obsidian doesn't feather out all that well. And it's easily smashed. That's not, that flaking right there is not that good. I mean, it's not a good sign that it's doing that. Looks like there's a crack running through there. Okay, I won't hit it as hard as that anymore. Yeah. Okay. Thing is, if I back off, the flakes become real short. I gotta find a happy medium, a middle ground. The edge is kind of thick right now because of the previous napper, but also because I was grinding it a lot. But it's starting to thin down. It can't be too thick because then it requires a lot of energy to remove the flakes, and then that energy translates into the risk of snapping the whole thing in half. Okay, it's looking slightly better. I won't be happy until it stops crushing, though. Until I stop crushing it. Yeah. I can easily blame it on the material. And you'll never know. Yeah. I might not be able to get it as thin as I need to see the translucent coloration of this. That'll be a bummer. My plan was to shoot a thumbnail of this while it's really thin so you can see the color. But if I can't thin it down due to the characteristics of the Obsidian, I'll have to figure out something else. Do a thumbnail with a flake next to the arrowhead. A translucent flake next to the arrowhead. It is greenish, yes, or I guess so. I'm a little bit colorblind sometimes, so that's why I keep wondering. Okay. I'm pushing on the front of step fractures to try to minimize them, tame them so that I can start running some reasonable flakes. This side looks pretty good so far, but this side, it's all still crackly. All right. I'll pressure flake it in a little while. Once I can't do any good with the percussion flaker. See, I can't do big old pressure flakes like that. Suppose if I practice, I might be able to, but why should I do that when I know I can just do it with percussion? Maybe to show other people how to do it. Maybe. I'm getting into the area that I need to really be careful how I attack the edge. Yep. little by little with flakes that are not too big, because I'm worried about cracks like this one here that I got earlier. Still something up here. There's still something going on right there. From earlier, there was a deep crack in there, but it doesn't look like it went through to the other side at all. It's just some weird thing going on there. I gotta not do that. I think that was done because of too much force. I am going to take the glove off for this next thinning pass. Can you see what I'm dealing with? There's step fracture right there near the edge, and it's pretty thick up here near the tip. This is an easy side to nap, but this is the worst, so I'm going to do the worst first. And I guess I'll have to zigzag it. I already took off too much. Zigzag it because the edge is really, really thick. And I don't want to lose too much width. I'm already losing quite a bit. Zigzagging usually gets rid of a lot of problems. Usually. So I zigzagged it, and it worked a little bit, especially down here, but up in here I still need to run some flakes. You can see how the edge is wonky, but it's normal for the type of flaking I was doing, the zigzagging. So I'm still just taking opportunistic flakes. I'm not trying to create a pattern or anything. Even though it might look like I'm doing sequential, like similar to sequential flaking, it's just opportunistic. Yep. All right, that thinned it down pretty good. All right, so I feel better now. A little bit better. Okay, so I really have to focus on this, so I'm not really thinking about talking. Yeah, I'm afraid to break it at any time. I'm afraid it could just snap at any time. I'm trying to get it thinned down slowly so I can get the color of the obsidian. So I can see the color of the obsidian. stuff really is quite crackly. Yeah. I'm going to find out how it pressure flakes here in a minute. Little by little. Come on. Yeah, not all obsidian is the same. A lot of it naps very differently. This one, I can't describe it. It's not like bottle glass though. If I do find some bottle glass of this color, it's not going to nap like this. It's going to be less crunchy on the edges. I think. This isn't too bad. It isn't too bad. I've seen worse. There's some obsidian that has little bubbles in it. That to me is the worst stuff. Unpredictable. When it's got bubbles in it, it's unpredictable. At least for me. Some guys, I think, they have lots of practice on that stuff because maybe they can get a lot of it. But every time I try to nap obsidian with little bubbles in it, I end up snapping the whole thing in half. Easily. It's probably because I'm very aggressive with the flaking at this stage. I'm still being aggressive with the percussion flaking. But I've toned it down a little bit because I noticed that I was getting weird cracks on the initiations, the beginnings of the flakes. The flake scars had cracks, and that's not good. Alright, so it's getting thinner. I'm reaching the end of my ability to confidently thin it with percussion. I can recklessly and dangerously and nervously thin it with percussion, but confidently thinning is the goal. Confident thinning. Yeah. It still can be risky, but you got to be confident that you can do something. Yeah. Do something productive. So I'm reaching the end of the productivity stage with the percussion. I may have to come back after doing pressure, come back and hit some thick spots with percussion. That's always a possibility. But when I switch over, it's usually very pressure heavy from there on in. Yeah. Pressure heavy. Heavy pressure. Pressure heavy. Okay. I do want to clear some of this out in the middle here. Hopefully you can see. If not, oh well. I do want to get this on video. I'm going to switch to my higher power glasses. Yeah, so I can see the minute little details. It's getting thin enough for me to see that color. And that's all percussion so far. Yeah. It's a little over an inch. Inch and a 1/16. Let's do the millimeters. 28. By 4, 7:1. Perfect. I can leave it that way. I don't have to thin it down anymore if I don't want. But it seems a little bit too thick for me. I hope that's 7:1. At least, you know, down here it is. Up here, let's see. 22 and 4, 5:1 up here. So it's still kind of thick. I like it to be about 6:1 for the notching minimum. The thinner it is for the notching, the better. If the notches are going to be up here, and it's only 5:1, it's not that great. All right, I'm going to do some pressure flaking now. And then if I see an opportunity to run a percussion flake to thin it down more, that's when I'll break out the percussion. Yeah. One good thing about the glove is I can wipe it like that and not have to worry about cutting myself. Ooh, it's delicate. Yes, it is. Ouch. If I'm not careful, I can overshoot this easy with pressure. It's good for running long, narrow flakes, though. If that's what you're into. Yeah. It pressure flakes really easily. You know, Obsidian in general is easy to pressure flake, but this is really easy. I shouldn't be thinning the tip down so much because I run the risk of breaking it off doing the notching. I should wait a little bit longer to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop here in a minute once I get it regularized and not too thin, and then I'll come back later and thin it down more if I need to. Or I should say if I feel the need to, because I don't really need to thin it down too much more. Okay, I'll leave it alone so that tip is not too delicate. If I thin it anymore, I could end up easily breaking it. Now that's it. I caused that step fracture right there with that pressure flake. That's not good. How did that happen? Was there already a crack there? Hopefully not. Hopefully there was not already a crack there. It looks like there might have been. It flakes so easily. Yes, it does. This crackly area worries me, so I'm going to take that back a little bit more. I'm going to lose some off of this side so I can redo that. Make sure that crack is not anything major, or that make sure that step fracture is not indicating any weird cracking going on in there. Because I didn't expect that step fracture. It looked pretty clean right there when I was flaking into it. Let's see. Start above that area. Work my way down into it. Sometimes I can eliminate these step fractures from the sides. See, I just pushed that one off right there, and it took off a little bit of that. The next one is going to be here going up this way. This next flake, and maybe I can get it. Gotta make sure that edge is not crunchy. So the step fracture is right here. Right there, and if I push here into that area, the flake will fan out like that, and hopefully this fan will catch that step fracture, that side of the fan of the flake, so to speak. So put pressure flaker right there, pop that out. This is what I just popped out. It did go that way, but it kind of chattered a little bit. Come on, the camera is shaking. The fan's blowing the camera around. All right, so this is the last flake. It did go into that area, but there's a little bit of chatter, but that's okay. Alrighty. Yeah, the goal is very clean flakes, no chatter, no weird ripples anywhere. But it's never perfect. Okay, so that was good. The sun is going to be coming in here soon, interfering with my video. Hold on. There's glass everywhere. Okay. Hopefully I can finish this up soon. There's no major defects anywhere else. Everything's pretty easy to nap now. All right. cut myself somehow earlier. I think I brushed the tip of the arrowhead against my arm. Alright, it's very sharp. Surprise, surprise. I don't know how effective this is in showing you in this kind of light. Or napping with this type of light. Hopefully it's okay. So what I'm doing is just making it more regular. You know. It's going to be a concave based arrowhead. And I'm just going to pick on the edges, not do anything fancy. No fancy serrations or anything. Just pick. There's still a bit of a step fracture right there along the edge. I should be able to pick that off just, you know, picking with the pressure flaker without looking. Should just pick right off. So yeah, once it's thin enough, I'm going to do notching and then final sharpening later. Do need to work on the symmetry. It's a little bit wide also, but I think I'm going to leave it wide. Yeah, that's okay. Now, can you see the translucency a little bit? Yeah, the lighting definitely is better at night. Yeah. I just don't have too much time tonight. It's better if I do this now. I'm going to have to do some percussion to thin this down at the base so I can notch it. I have a piece of glass stuck in my arm also over here. I have a little piece of glass stuck in there too. It just bugs me as I'm moving my arm across my pant leg. I'll get it later. Okay. It's not too annoying. Alright. Yeah, why do I worry about those little annoying things? Because for me, it does affect my flint napping. Little distractions will affect my flint napping. Yeah, there's few things more aggravating than just a little itch messing me up. When I can avoid it. Yeah. If I just pay attention to it, get rid of it if I need to. It's much better than dealing with it and then finding out that I messed up because I'm annoyed with it. It's very crunchy. Alright, let's see. Just don't snap in half. There's some obsidians that will snap in half during this operation. Might be a little bit too concave, but oh well. I'm not afraid to grind the edge right now because I'm going to do one more sharpening pass. But this will also show me a potential area for thinning with the percussion striker, the percussion flaker. Let's see. There's a step fracture. Dang it. It needs to be nice and clean like this side. I got a step fracture in this side. That could come back to bite me later. Yep. What does it do later on? It can stop a flake that I need to use to thin it. It's not too bad. It's right there. Hear it? It's not too bad. Yeah, that crunchiness is rearing its ugly head during this last phase here. Dang it. I don't want to hit it harder than that. I see some opportunities to thin it down with. It's dicey. Yeah. There it goes. I had a piece of cardboard up there. This might not be too bad. You might be able to see now. Yeah, the wind blew off that piece of cardboard that I had as a curtain up there. But maybe it's not too bad. Maybe I can see better now too. That's not good. I don't like it when it doesn't detach. Yeah. That's what it should do. There's just a little lump right there, so I think I got it. Yeah, I can see it a lot better now with the sun right on it. Very interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do more of these, but we'll see. It's very hot. Yeah, quit fussing. Yeah, I know. There goes the rest of the cardboard. Alright, so yeah, I had some cardboard taped up there on the door. The door has a little plastic window. See the window? And the top of the door is right there, the opening. I had the door partially shut so it wouldn't be so sunlit in here because it heats up. It's up over, it's almost 100 degrees right now. Yeah, it heats up a lot with the sun. When the sun is beaming into the interior also, not just on the outside. Okay, here we go. Alright, I'm going to need my other glove for this whole process. I can already tell these flakes are jumping everywhere. Come on. Is it possible to see or impossible? I can see pretty good, but every time I look in the viewfinder, it's a different story. Sometimes it's in focus and sometimes it's not. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. I don't know if you can see. I don't know. So if you can't see stuff, that means I gotta be talking just so you don't get too bored watching nothing. But I had to focus on this because I could make a mistake pretty easily, because it does pressure flake really well, and any little mishap can cause a flake to go too far. Okay. I'm moving the flakes away in case I drop this. Yeah, it gets delicate during the notching, so I don't want to drop it with notches on it. Well, because with my luck, it'll hit one of the barbs or one of the ears directly on a flake below, and because it's notched, it'll be delicate and it'll break right off. I just know it. Okay, so time for notching. I don't know if it's going to be an EC type because these barbs are a little bit too sharp for that type. I think he rounded off his barbs a little bit or angled them inward. I don't know. Okay, let's see if I can notch this with the sunlight beaming directly on it. Or do I need to block out the sunlight? I have a feeling I'm going to have to take the glove off of this left hand so I can see better. I think that's going to be good enough. No, thin it down a little bit more. I can barely see. Yeah, that's not good. I'm showing you how to blow away the sides. This flaker is a little bit too fat to do what I'm thinking of doing. So I just won't do it. I won't make the entry very narrow. Just make it normal narrow. Just want a normal pop out, nothing too fancy. Just a nice pop out for that bottom of the notch. Okay. See if I can make this. In order to make this one more narrow entry, I'm going to have to thin down this tip. Hold on. See if that's a little bit better. Can't go too crazy because the entry, there's two possible ways of doing this. I can nap it like this from the top with a pointy one, or I can nap it from the side with a thin one. I'm going to nap it from the side with a thin one. That's the way I prefer to do it. I haven't really mastered the vertical flaking like this. Mainly because I don't like it. I tend to ruin it or stall it more easily if I'm in the vertical position. I seem to be able to drive flakes better from the side. Like that. To do that with a vertical pressure flaker is just luck for me. I can't really control it like I can with the side pressure. I'm sure it has to do with practice. I just got to do more of the vertical stuff. I got a feeling that this has been blurry for most of the video. Yes? The good part is I'm able to see it. The bad part is you probably are not. Yeah, I'm looking through the viewfinder now and I can't see what I'm doing. Let me close the door. Hopefully it won't get too hot in the time it takes for me to finish this. All right. Okay. Isn't summer napping fun? Kinda, sort of. I don't know if it's technically summer yet. I guess maybe this is the first weekend of summer, or this weekend ushers in the summertime. The spatula tool is really not that great for producing long flakes. But it's excellent for producing the short flakes. Okay. Take the gloves off. You might be thinking I can just do all the tips with the spatula tool instead of trying to fuss with the regular pressure flaker because it seems to be working well. Yes, but the spatula tool produces short little flakes, so it makes the tip look too flakery to me. Yeah. And if you don't know what too flakery means, you haven't watched enough of my videos. Yeah. Just too many little flakes. I don't like it to look like I spent an hour just flaking the tip with all these little minute flakes. Yeah, because the aesthetics for me, the fewer the flakes, the better. That's the way I like it. The way I think it looks better is with the fewest flakes possible. Some people like it really, really busy, but not me. And this obsidian looks black, but it is green in a translucency, greenish. And I think I can find bottle glass of this color or similar. What am I doing? I'm just being very picky, that's all. And sometimes I'm setting it up for a flake. Now that I have my super high powered glasses on, I want to be too detailed. Okay. Yeah, I put the ones that have a higher magnification than my normal ones. So now I can see all the little details. Yeah. Makes me want to pick at it more. There's a dull spot right there. There we go. I was just afraid to break off that part right there next to the notch. Up here it's not so bad. I can press harder and be more reckless. It's easier to do it with the spatula tool. There goes my cardboard again. It's easier to do this with a spatula tool, but the edge ends up being thicker than with a pointed pressure flaker. Because I'm not able to drive long flakes, but it does take away all the dull spots, and it minimizes the crushing that can happen with a rounded or pointed pressure flaker. And of course the neighbor decides he wants to mow the lawn right here. Come on. He wants to mow the lawn right when I'm doing this. Yep. Yeah, okay. No, I don't need it. I can thin it down a little bit more, but I don't need to. I would have to do one more grinding and do a final pass to make it thinner. It's always been crunchy right there in that area, but oh well. Yeah, it's good enough. And I'll try to take a backlit photo of this. Yeah. Alright, so there you go. Yeah, I can't I'm not able to show how green it is. Maybe a little bit. Anyway, that's it. Hope you liked it. Yeah, I definitely like napping better at night. The lighting is better. I might not like the actual napping part, but the lighting is much better. Okay, there you go. That's it.